Good afternoon, it's Peggy Kalis, and I'm coming to you from my back porch in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And I have some tips for you on your road to building a successful home-based business. I'm in the process of doing that right now with a blogging platform and posting videos to YouTube. And I'm working with an incredible company called Empower Network. So I'd like to just share with you a few of my thoughts. So successful home-based businesses learn how to build relationships first. And I am an Uber driver, and so I've learned so much about building relationships while driving with Uber. I've been doing this for about 6 months, and it's just a whole lot of fun, and I meet some really interesting people. But I have a short period of time to find out all I can about them and to make a connection with them. And by the time they get out of the car, I just feel like we're friends and we want to like each other on Facebook, and it's just a really great experience. So I'm going to share with you some of the tips that I've learned about creating relationships. Number one, you need to be curious. You really have to feel in your heart a curiosity for this other person. Who are they? What are they up to in this world? And you have to genuinely be interested. So build a curiosity, because people are doing so many interesting things, and everyone who steps into the car with me, I can't wait to find out who they are and what it is that they're about in this world. And so the questions that I ask them are these 3 questions. And they work in almost any situation, which breaks the ice and begins to get the conversation going. And then you just have to have this ability, I'm going to call it, to be able to kind of play with the conversation and sort of follow it wherever it goes and just let the script go. But when you're beginning, it's kind of nice to have some ideas. So that's why I'm sharing these with you. So number one, my question usually it revolves around where are you from? Where do you live? Are you from the area here? If they flew in, where did you just fly in from? California? Where at in California? Northern California? San Francisco area? You can just kind of continue the questions like that. And they'll fill in for you, and you'll hear little tidbits from them, and you can just follow that as well. So that's one of the first questions I ask. Where are you from? The second question that I like to ask is, tell me a little bit about your family. Do you have any siblings? Do you have any children? If so, what are their ages? I usually share with them that I have grandkids, and you can say a little bit about yourself, but be very careful about not letting your own story take the conversation over. People really want to share with you. They like to talk. And so once you get them going, you can learn an awful lot about them, which will be very valuable for you. So take notes when they get out of the car. I usually take a few notes, write their name down, write their Facebook information, anything else that I might have garnered from the conversation. And the third and final question that I really like to use, and I like to phrase it this way as well, is, what is your work in the world? To me, it just seems a little bit softer than saying, do you have a job? What is your job? So I just say, so tell me, what is your work in the world? And their work in the world can be a job. It can be service work. Maybe they work with a nonprofit. You get a whole gamut of things. And this is where I have just found out the most incredible things that people are doing. Jobs and ways to work and make money that I have never considered. Didn't even know, because it was a realm that I wasn't even familiar with. Someone got in the car the other day and works in the area of speech recognition. He's creating voices for robots, and it was just a fascinating conversation. So what is your work in the world is a really great question. Even if someone tells you something as mundane as, well, I'm an engineer, I can go from there and say, well, tell me what kind of engineer? Mechanical, electrical? Well, I'm an electrical engineer. So tell me what you do with that. Do you work for a company, or are you freelance? And again, you just kind of play with that conversation, continuing to ask questions. And it's just a great way to build relationships. So I'm going to recap for you. in order to have a successful home-based business, you want to build relationships first. So that's what I'm doing. On the ground floor, one has to build relationships first. Curious. Make sure you're curious about every person that passes you by, even the person that sits next to you in Starbucks. I wonder what they're up to. I wonder why they're in here. I wonder where they're going. And then the 3 questions that I like to ask are, where are you from? And tell me a little bit about your family. And what is your work in the world? So again, I am starting a blog and I'm learning how to do some really cool things. Number 1 is posting these YouTube videos. And I am a grandma, so if I can do it, anybody can do it. And I'm doing this with Empower Network. So if you're interested in finding out more, please leave a comment below. And I'll put my information there for you as well. And you can always like me on Facebook. I just have a myriad of things that I'm interested in. So I'd be happy to share and happy to find out more about you. So my website is PeggyKalis.com and my blog is Rebuild.